union, calling every human. It's one for all and all for one. Let's live in unison, calling every citizen. It's one for all and all for one. We don't want war.
Can't take no more. It's drastic time for sure. We need an antidote and a cure. Cause do you really think Muhammad got a problem with Jehovah? We don't want war. Imagine if every prophet was alive and current days amongst you and I. You think they would view life like you and I do? Or would they sit and contemplate on why do we live this way? Act and behave this way. We still living primitive today. Cause the peace of the destination and war can't be the way. There's no way. So
Okay. Thank you very much, Christopher, Chief Executive Technology Officer, live in Vienna. Thank you very much for the introduction. And how is everybody? Everybody, are you listening? I can't hear you. Is everybody okay? Welcome, everybody. We have lots of people and many more joining, so no doubt we're going to have an unbelievable supervisor workshop. I know we have people in North America, the United States. Everybody in America, hello guys. I remember my dad when I was a young kid used to say, always thank the Americans. So thank you, Americans. We have many people in South and Central America, wonderful part of the world. Hello everybody in South America, Mexico and all the region. I know we have quite a large group coming in from Africa. Everybody from Africa, hello guys. All the supervisors from Africa. And of course, the Asia Pacific region, Australia, hello everybody. We got people from India as well. And of course, we have people here in EMEA. Hello everybody in EMEA. Welcome everybody. And a very, very, very special congratulations to all the brand new supervisors. How many of you are brand new supervisors and this is your first supervisor school? Wave your hands, let us see you. Welcome. You are at the right place at the right time. Are you excited, everybody? Are you ready as well? Listen, I know one thing. This is going to be an unbelievably valuable supervisor school for everybody. So I invite you to be ready. Be focused. Disconnect your telephone. No distractions. Get your pen, your paper ready, because this is going to be a very valuable supervisor school for everybody. We got a very special guest, and we couldn't close the year any better. Okay? So congratulations to all the supervisors. Before we get going, let me ask you a couple of questions. How many of you, wherever you are in the world today, with everything that's going on in the world today, how many of you agree with me that one of the biggest challenges in the world today that's facing humanity has to do with the increased amount of challenges with the health of people? And how many of you agree that another big challenge has to do with the increase in economical challenges for the majority of people around the world? Now, the most important question, how many of you agree with me, or how many of you believe, and how many of you really feel and know that we have the best solution for the average person to deal with these issues? All right, so that means we are at the right place at the right time. And there's never been a better time to be part of Herbalife. I've been with the company now 31 years. And every time I remember my early days, I get very excited because it was hard. It was very difficult back then to be able to reach the number of people we can reach today. And I will never forget, after my initial signing up, getting on the products, getting my initial results, which got me excited, and then going to my very first distributor trainings and taking notes, I still didn't really understand what the business was all about. But the day that really made a difference for me was my very first supervisor workshop. It was in Barcelona, where I was born, and it was at the President Hotel. And there were like 300 supervisors from all of Spain. Spain had just gotten started with Herbalife. And I learned a lot of things. I took notes. What I learned were basics and fundamentals. And then one girl stood up and she said, I just qualified to the GET team. Last month, I made $3,000. And she was 19 years old. And I said, if she can do that, I'm going to do a lot more than that. And she gave me the reason to go for the next level, which was the GET team. And I got to that level in my 9th month in the business. Why did I get there? Because I didn't just write down the basics and the fundamentals. I applied them. I put them into action. Even though I didn't understand everything, I was talking to everybody about Herbalife. Ask yourself, are you talking to everybody about Herbalife? Because if you're not, you are making a big mistake. Because if there was ever a time to talk about our business opportunity and our products, is right now. Right now. And it doesn't matter how you're going to do it, whatever method you're going to use. Tonight, you're going to learn some of those fundamentals and basic concepts from one of the best global leaders, trainers in the world. So, congratulations for being here once again. But being here won't be enough. What will make the difference for you is getting those notes and putting it into action. And just to remind you, since we started in July, our first supervisor school, global supervisor school, we've reached 9,000 supervisors. And this is just the beginning. Okay? I want to quickly thank everybody who helped in the first 6 supervisor schools. In July, it was Angela Jackson, the host. I was the first speaker. We got it going. And then, since then, we had in August Elizabeth Augusta and Dennis Daldell. Then again, I was the host, and we had Suzanne Morrow. And then in October, it was Angela, the host, and we heard from Mark Matika. And November, it was Elizabeth Augusta, and we had Michael Katz. And those schools were fantastic, no question, and thank you to all those who helped. And tonight, we have a very special guest, somebody that I met 31 years ago in Barcelona when Mark Hughes was doing a supervisor school, and I had the privilege to be translating for Mark Hughes. That was the day when I met this gentleman and his brother. And it's amazing because we've been friends now for 31 years. And this gentleman has achieved something quite amazing. Let me give you some numbers just to give you an idea of what we're talking about. He started his business in Israel. Before he started his business, he was a tennis coach, tennis teacher. And he got going, and he will tell you his story in a minute, but he has 1 founder circle in his organization, 15 chairman's club, 370 president's team. Wow. But listen to this. He has 3 president's team in his first line, 15 president's team in his second line, and 24 president's team in his third line. So he has really learned the business of duplication of president's team. All right? So you want to be listening very careful because these numbers are impressive, no question about it. But the most important thing that you need to understand tonight, and you'll hear him in a minute when I introduce him, is that this person has learned the basics, has learned the fundamentals, and he's put them into practice, and he's been able to teach them to many other people. And that's the reason why he has such a solid business around the world in many, many, many countries. And for me, it's an honor to be able to introduce him to you, because I have a few people in Herbalife that I call when I need advice. Unfortunately, two of them are no longer with us, but I still talk to them. But the third person that I call when I need some guidance is him, the man I'm going to introduce to you in a minute. So, without further ado, it's an honor for me tonight to introduce to you our speaker for this unbelievable supervisor school, international 30K President's Team member, Mr. Michael Cole.
Hi, guys. I thought there was, okay.
Puedo escribir y no disimular, es la ventaja de irse haciendo viejo. No tengo nada para impresionar, ni por fuera ni por dentro. La noche en vela va cruzando el mar, porque los sueños viajan con el viento, y en mi ventana sopla en el cristal. Mira a ver si estoy despierto. En un cruce de palabras me anotaron mal la dirección. Ya grabé mi nombre en una bala, ya probé la carne de cañón. Ya lo tengo todo controlado, y alguien dijo no, 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 que ahora viene el viento de otro lado, déjame el timón. Y alguien dijo no, no, no.
Hello, everyone. Hello, how are you tonight, today, this morning, this evening? I don't know where you are around the globe. Unbelievable. So much presentation. Thank you very much. I remember this school in Barcelona where you were the translator on the stage there, sitting next to Mark Hughes. I came all the way from Madrid with my brother. I counted my last money to pick up the plane from Madrid because I was a forget team at the time. All right. And let's start a little bit here. Let's have fun, number one, okay? Let's have fun. Let's do it really in a calm way. We're sitting in the living room here, exactly like the president's team were sitting the other day with all the chairman club and the founders circle in the United States. We're doing it up to here among ourselves here, but let's talk about the right and correct business. And I will start with my presentation. There are many supervisors here, and some people will see, I guess, the recordings afterwards. So let me just introduce myself and the background to what we are going to listen afterwards. So as you heard, I'm coming from Israel. And by the way, when I was listening to Mark Hughes, one of the other reasons why wouldn't he stay on the stage for 2 days? Because our business is simple. Why to spend so many days if in 4 hours or 2 hours I can teach you the basic and let's go to work? Okay, so basically, I heard about Herbalife 5 years before I started. Okay, it was 1984. I was for my second time in university after my big failure when I went to Italy to study something and I decided not to continue. And when I was living in Italy immediately after my military service. You know, in Israel we have obligatory military service, and I happened to be a Navy SEAL in the Israeli Navy, which is a special forces and very top unit, very famous around the world. It's in Israel. It's very considered if you're succeeding to get to the end of the course of the Navy SEALs. It's about 2 years preparations, and I never talked about it until I heard Dr. Carmona talking about his background. Said, I was impressed by his story. I said, he can tell a story. I can tell also this story, and I'm a distributor. Okay, he's not. I can, because the reality was what I learned during those 4 years in the army and afterwards in the reserve service for many years, served me afterward to teach my organization how to build a structured business. A few years ago, I took a flight from Madrid to Tel Aviv, Israel, to visit my friends, my family. And next to me was sitting a gentleman. And we started to have a conversation, and it resulted to be one of my most interesting conversations ever, because he was a 3-star general. He was the Air Force commander of Colombia. And we became friends, really good friends, 5 hours flights. And since I have big business, Herbalife business in Colombia, we had a lot of common things to talk about his country, about my country. And then when I visited him in Colombia, he took me around with his car, with his bodyguards, to see some of the air bases of the Colombian Air Force, and we had a great day together. Then we sat and had dinner together, and he told me, you know what, Michael? One of the keys for success is called standardized education, standardized training. And you guys from Israel, this is why you are so good in whatever you're doing. You're fighting with each other. You disagree with each other on so many things. But once you have a challenge in front of you, you immediately put the global interest, the common interest in front of you, using your standardized education that's coming from those miserable 3 years of military service that you're doing. Okay, so listen, this is very interesting to hear from a 3-star general. Okay, because I said, you know what? I built my business on some principles that I learned during my military service. And whenever I do a school, I mention the 3 key principles that are so important to be successful. And they got nothing to do with Herbalife. They got to do with your life. They got to do with you being a human being. And one of them is honesty. The other one is integrity. And the number 3 is try always to fulfill the missions 100%. Those 3 keys will bring you to success: honesty, integrity, and try hard to get the mission done. There is no 99% effort if you want to be a winner. There's 100% effort. It doesn't mean you're going to succeed at all time, but it means your attitude is the right one. So let's go back to my personal story. After I spent some years in Italy, deciding to stop my studies, I came back to Israel, and I didn't know what I wanted for myself. I didn't have a plan B. So I started to work in some part-time jobs, different jobs. I was here, I was there, and I was a barman for a time, and then I started to work a little bit in a tourism company, because I knew somebody in this company, and I started to help them. Nothing serious. And then suddenly I had this idea to go back to the university and to study communication and television production. And I went back to the Tel Aviv University, and it was really a pleasure to go there. And I really enjoyed my 3 years of studying there. But when I ended, I found no jobs. There was only one Israeli television channel at the time. So it's very, very, very difficult to get a job there. I started to do some production with friends, nothing serious. But in the end, I found myself helping a friend of mine teaching tennis, because I was always playing tennis for my pleasure, and I needed to earn some money. So I started to teach tennis on a part-time basis in the afternoons, combining this with my studies. Okay, and after 2 years, what happened that I opened my own tennis school, and I became independent. I never liked to be an employee of someone. I always dream about being independent. But during this period in the university and working in the evening in the tennis, my brother Ben, who went to the United States to study something, started the Herbalife business. He called me, and on the phone from 16,000 kilometers, he told me something about this young company, young CEO, young founder, Marcus, of course, okay, a big future. And he drew me on the phone a big future for himself. And he invited me to join him in the United States and do the business with him. The truth was that I thought he was crazy. Okay. I told him, you know what, Ben, get rich first and then we talk business. The reason was I was frightened to death to enter this adventure, leaving Israel again, traveling abroad again after my failure in Italy, and maybe not to succeed. And there's some things called Herbalife. I didn't know what Herbalife was all about. I didn't understand the concept of being a distributor. I thought he was working, that he invited me to have a job somewhere. I didn't understand. He explained me a little bit. But then I told him, you know, Ben, if one day your company will open our market, then we should do the business. So that's what happened. That's what happened. 5 years later, in 1989, suddenly Marcus decided to open this small country called Israel. And Ben flew from Los Angeles. I haven't seen him for 6 years. He stepped into the door of my parents' house where I was living. I was so poor that I didn't have money to rent an apartment. And he stepped in through the door, and I started to laugh. He was wearing this big badge saying, "Feel great now, ask me how," and some other decorations, and he was looking like a Russian general. I was like, which war have you win? Okay, that you are so decorated. The one decorated here is me. I'm a Navy SEAL, not you. Okay, and I don't even wear my decorations because I was so bashful to wear them. So tell me about this badge. What is this parabolic antenna? Where is it directed to? So he told me it is directed to you, Michael. Okay, I'm not the object now. So the next day, of course, I hadn't seen for 6 years. Hello to the family. We had dinner outside. And then the next day he said, okay, now you need to listen to me. I will do a short presentation to you, about half an hour presentation, and I will explain what Herbalife is all about. And he started to explain me what Herbalife was all about. The normal presentation, one-on-one presentation, he talked to me a little bit about Herbalife, about the products, about the company. Then he showed me some products results on the journals of Herbalife, okay, Herbalife yesterday. And he explained me the marketing plan. When he explained me the marketing plan, when I saw the circles and squares, I saw myself immediately in this movie. Because I always thought about myself being a tennis teacher, teaching my kids how to play tennis and having some supervisor making some production, and I'm getting 5% out of this 3 levels down. And I got excited. The problem was, well, it's not a problem, but my vision was so narrow that I did not understand it doesn't work immediately as it shows on the paper. Somebody needs to build it. Somebody needs to work it on. It's not enough to bring a couple of your friends and then you're going to get rich, as we used to say in the past. Get rich. No? But luckily, I had a very experienced sponsor because Ben was a millionaire team, just qualified millionaire team. My sponsor was one of the pillars of Herbalife at the time. Okay. And immediately he showed me the way how to do the work, how to work the business. So I guess he saved me a lot of mistakes. He saved me a lot of time, of course, because when you see a professional working, it is a lot easier to understand what to do, and it saves you mistakes and saves you time. If you imitate a champ, okay, more likely you will become successful. This is how the world is working. This is how the world of sports, in tennis, where I was teaching. What are you doing when you're teaching kids? You are showing them how to play. They need to imitate you. You want to imitate better players in order to play better. Then there are other factors that I will talk about later on. We don't have 2 days here today. We have about 90 minutes. So I condensed the most important point that I see today in Herbalife into this presentation. Maybe in the future, we should dedicate sessions for each of the subject that we need to develop in details to teach people every detail that I'm going to talk about. I don't have a lot of time to develop the details, but I will talk more about the what and the whys, but not so much about the hows, because how is more complicated to explain in a short Zoom. Right? So let's look at Herbalife a little bit as a game, as a sports game. It's not a game, but let's look at this as a game. Why? Let's say you want to play tennis. Some of you are playing tennis. Let's say we are watching a game, the US Open finals, tennis finals between Djokovic and let's say Rafael Nadal from Spain. Now they are playing. And suddenly a small kid is entering the court and is pulling out the white lines of the court. And suddenly the court is blue with no lines. There is only one net in the middle, two embarrassed players, and they don't know what they need to do right now. Suddenly, the game lost its essence. Suddenly, the same game, the same players, has no meaning whatsoever. Why? Because suddenly there are no rules. So, number one important thing in order to learn how to play, get to know the rules of the game. If you want to be successful, of course. There are other things to learn, of course, technique, tactics, etc. But if there is no sense for the game, who is going to be the winner here? Who is going to be the loser? As Alfred likes to say, you loser! Okay? So, yes. So suddenly, Djokovic in front of Nadal, there is no sense to the game. Our rules of the games is the marketing plan. You need to understand the marketing plan. Only when you understand the marketing plan, the basic marketing plan, the 25, 50, 5, 5, 5, and then afterward the 2, 4, 6, then you can ask the question, okay, what should I do in order to get to the top here? What are the actions that I should take in order to play well this game? So the question is, you guys supervisors, do you want to play well? Are you ready to play well? So this is the question. This is something you need to ask yourself. Are you ready to play? Then each player is different. Each distributor is different. One player is tall. The other one is small. One is very aggressive. The other one is more defensive. And sometimes the defensive is winning against the aggressive. There is no rule who is going to win. The one who plays better might win. It means that any profile can be a winner in tennis and also in Herbalife. It's just a question to adapt yourself to the game, to adapt the game to your personal characteristics, to your personal, let's say, wishes, willing, free time that you have, etc., etc. So I will show some presentations, some slides to cover now to develop what I've just said and to put it into Herbalife world. So in the end, we are in Herbalife. Okay, I will jump for a couple of presentations that I usually have in my different kinds of events. And one of the things that I learned quite fast, that even a new distributor comparing to a president's team or to a veteran, they are both human beings, and both of them, they have brain to understand what we are saying. Sometimes the level of information would not be the same, depending on the need, the actual need of the specific person at the given moment. So a new distributor, okay, might not understand how to build an organization, but he can know about it. He can know because when I talk about it, he starts thinking and start visualizing it. If I will not talk about it, he will never start. The question, when is he going to start seeing it? And I understood that I need to start talking about it from the beginning, but afterwards I will work with each one of them at the pace of their will to work and to advance. but they need to know because they are intelligent and they can understand. Maybe they don't see all the things, maybe they don't need all the information right now, but the day will come and they will, let's say, use this information. So if there are supervisors here who are quite new, take notes. If some of the things that I'm going to say are not very clear to you right now, don't worry. If you will continue to develop your business, one day they will be clear. One day they will be very clear to you. And I remember one event, the first leadership weekend in south of Spain with Jim Rohn and Larry Thompson, 1919, I think it was 1990. It was the opening of Europe. Spain was already 1 year open almost. France was about to be open. Of course, UK was open. And Jim Rohn said something, or I don't remember, maybe it was Larry, I don't remember. One of them said, take notes, guys. You might not understand what you're going to hear here today, but one day you will wave all the dust from your notebooks and the information will be inside. Record us. The tapes will maintain our attitude, and they will retain the information. And that's what I did. And you know what? Few years later, suddenly I needed some information that I was missing. And I remember this training, and I went to my old notebook, and I did exactly what they said. And this is how I developed my first leadership school for my group. When I read the notes of that event, and I went and I did the same with my people. And this is how the whole business, basically the leadership development started. So let's go to this presentation. I think the slides is ready here. That's it. This is it, the one. Okay. Okay. What about this? Play. Okay, I will minimize myself here because I cannot see. I don't see my mouse when I do the presentation. So 1 minute, please. Oh, okay. We do it that way. We go big screen. Okay. Okay, now, after a few years in the business, I created for myself a business definition. A business definition. And my business definition was bring products to final consumer through a network of distributor that we, the independent distributors, are responsible to create. And basically, for me, it's included almost everything that I needed in order to do my business. And our goal, part of my definition, is to build a sustainable and growing royalty check. Guys, this definition is so old, maybe 20 years old. And right now, everybody's talking about sustainable business. The question, are they really doing the actions that will bring them sustainable business? That's another issue. So, what is sustainable business? Sustainable business basically is, I want what I'm doing today to stay for tomorrow. I want the results of today to become my royalties of tomorrow. I don't want them to disappear. I've seen in the past many people that were building their business very fast. They're very good in building fast business, high royalties, qualifying a lot of supervisors, but they didn't know how to work with their downline. They didn't know how to develop a distributor. And then what happened? The work that they were doing in a given period of time were not staying for a long time. So they needed to renew their business. They used to call it replacement business. I did not agree with this kind of definition. They used to replace people in order to maintain their business going on and growing. But it was a very hard work, and basically the production was not stable. The production was not there. They needed to bring new people in order to produce new volume, and so on, so on, so on. And the reality, I didn't like it so much. My sponsor told me always, Michael, product should end in the hands of final consumers. That's the goal of the business. Then if we want to grow your business, you recruit more people to grow your business. This is the logics of any business. Okay, it's like developing a selling point and then developing another one and then developing another one. So now let's move to another slide here. Okay. So new people, when they look at us, after signing up as members or distributors, they ask the question in their head, okay, how do I start? Isn't it the most common question, people? How do you sell the product? How do you recruit people? This is the number one question everybody is asking. And many people want to know the answer before they even signing up. Okay, sometimes we answer, sometimes we don't answer, depending on the situation. But here is what I learned. We are earning money on productions. We are earning money and people cannot see, for example, when talking about royalties, where royalties are coming from. They can see income. Income is profits, retail profit. That's what they can see, most of them. That's what they can see. The other parts of our income are a little bit abstract for them. They don't see it. It's our way to show them the way in order to make, as we used to say always, the first earnings, the first check, and then they will start to taste the success and then we'll start building it. So the most important thing is our personal production, because in our business, we need to be able to show the way. Even supervisors, we need to be able to show the way to beginners, at least the first steps. What are you going to show if you don't know what you're doing? So number one is yourself needs to learn the basics of the business. I go back to sports. When I teach tennis, the first thing I was teaching a kid was how to hold the racket, and then how to meet the ball with the racket, and how to do the basic movements and repeat the movement and repeat until he started to motorize the movements, whether it was the backhands or the forehand, and then developing into the more complicated shots. Okay, the same philosophy, we build a person into the business. We cannot expect someone to jump from being a host in one of our seminars or Zooms and to produce 5,000 volume points every month the next month. Okay, it will not happen. If it happens to someone, okay, it is not, let's say, the average result. So how our personal volume is built, or what of? So number one, we need to have personal monthly order for our personal customers, what we call PPV today. Okay. Then I would like to have as many active participants as possible at all level, and I will explain. As many active participants at first level, which is personal customers and also first lines member. So let's say you are a supervisor. Okay, what do you need to do? Number one, learn how to sell the product. Of course, use the product, get the result of the product, learn how to place an order, choose the product you're going to start with, etc., etc., etc. This is the personal work that as a sponsor we need to do with our first line in the first days. But conceptually speaking, okay, learn how to sell the product. Start to have your own customers. Then when you have your first distributor, teach him to do the same. Use the product, have result, the same things I just mentioned. Go to the step of start having your personal customers and start to offer the business to other people. Then next point is as many as possible deeper levels members with monthly orders, member who came through the center of influence of my members, or they were sponsored in any other way, which I will talk in a second. What does it mean? People can join us from different directions. Okay, some of them are consumers, customers, but some of them came for the opportunity. Some of them came through friends, and some of them came through what we call advertising, small advertising. Today it's the social media. In my when I studied, it was the small newspapers. We always used to look for the free newspapers in order to save money, etc., etc. But this is how my personal production, my personal volume is created. My orders and my downline orders who are not yet at 50%, because they're all included in my personal production. This is what we call healthy volume point. If that all of that does not exist, your personal volume is unhealthy and you need to heal it. Some people are going through this process. So, okay, some people are going through this process. They need to heal their volume. It's not very difficult, mainly if you're experienced. You go back to basics and you start doing what I just said. Start developing new customers, start develop new members in your first line, then teach them how to do their first line, and then their first line, and then it will teach them how to do go wide, customers and distributors. That's the philosophy. This is what you need to have a supervisor needs to have in his head. Let's go forwards. And at a given point, somebody gave this personal production the name, my personal volume, the house. Like it was like a house. So the house, the structure of the house, was built out of my personal and family consumption. Right now in the United States, I think personal consumption is not it's part of your volume, but we are not paid on that. Okay, so we need to document all the volume. My personal sales to customers, my member sales to their customers, my members' orders for marketing plan advance. Oh, I need one more 500 volume point to get to the success, to the for example, qualified producer. This is what I'm calling the missing volume point in order to advance in the marketing plan on the small levels usually. Qualifications for the parties, for the vacations, and promotions, the gifts, etc., etc. All of those are building what we call the personal production or my personal volume. Putting under the name, the house. Let's look at the house. In my case, I live in Spain, the personal consumption is considered part of the house. If not, in your case, okay, no issue with that, okay, nothing that we can do about this right now. So, in my house, I have few rooms. Room number A, in red, is the kitchen, because kitchen is the most important room in the house. The kitchen is where life is going on. The kitchen is where we all meet together a few times a day. The kitchen is the hottest place at home. So I want to see in your kitchen, my new supervisor, my new distributor, by the way. Okay, this is where the flow starts. I want to see in your room, and I will teach you how, between 500 to 1,000 volume points, which are 7 to 9 new customers every month. Not only when you started the business, not only because you brought me your brother and your sister and your grandmother, that's great, but it's not enough. I would like to show you, I would like to see, I will teach you how to have every month more or less this amount of volume in your kitchen. Then you will ask me the question, what should I do for that? What should I learn for that? So then I will teach you what it takes to learn in order to control room A, the kitchen. This is when you need to know how to manage to create your flow prospects. And now the young generation, they're better than us. It's a lot faster today than it used to be a few years ago. Number two, dominate the wellness concept. Know how to present what we are doing, our philosophy, our wellness concept, our different kind of products. Dominate the inner and outer nutrition presentations. So number one, the wellness is who are we? What is the wellness world? And number two, where Herbalife is allocated in this space. What Herbalife is doing. Then I'll teach you how to close the sale. You need to know how to close the sale. There are many methods today. Some people are ordering directly from Herbalife. The technology is a lot more developed than some years ago, and it's going more and more developed. Okay, so I need to teach you how to close a sale. Some people don't know how to close the sale. They keep talking, and they never close the sale for whatever reasons. Then, constant flow of profits. I would like to see you every month, and I used to call it building the machine of 500 euros, the machine of 500 euros at the time, because nobody throws to the garbage a machine sitting in your kitchen that producing 500 euros every month or $500, because it's a nice machine. Maybe it's not the biggest machine, but it's a nice machine to start with, and nobody will throw $500 to the garbage if those $500 are coming every month. So first step, build your kitchen. Then we move to the second room. Let's say we prepare we prepared the food adequately, where we cooked it. Now we have the right to move to the dining room to benefit out of the food. So now we're sitting in the dining room, second room. Who is sitting in my dining room? In the second room, I have the repeating customers. Repeating customers are those who use the product in my kitchen in the room A previously, and now they're reordering the product. I would like to give you a goal. I would like to see you having 500 to 1,000 volume point in this room every month. Every month. Let's say you're very good and you did this 1,000 point. It's about 9 customers, 7, depending on the country, depending on the volume. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. Then you have fixed 1,000 volume point on your new customers. We are already building 2,000 volume point on a monthly basis. It is not coming in 1 week. It's question a few months of working. But out of this 2,000 volume point here, there is also reasonable income for you, for the distributor or for the supervisor. So now what does it take to develop room B? So now I need to teach my guy more things. Constantly have customers and referrals, how to take referrals. Oh, starting with serious follow-up, okay? Professional follow-up on your customer, something that many of us failed, many of us, let's be honest, me, I include myself also. Why? Because we're busy with other things. But the follow-up is where you have a lot of new business that you are not basically working so hard to achieve, to have. So constantly have customers and referrals. Why? Because it's easy sale, because friends of happy friends are happy, will most likely buy the product. Then it's extra money. Extra money. We need to work a lot harder to create the flow for the kitchen and less harder to create the flow for the dining room. But dining room does not exist if the kitchen room is not working. They're all linked. You cannot de-link them. And then through the good relationship that we are developing, there is sense of contribution, great relationship, and we are also building and protecting the brand. Then we move to the third room, which is the living room. Let's say we ate, we had fun. Now we want to have a living room conversation. We are going to the living room, okay, to sit a little bit, to relax, and then we talk. Who got the right to sit in this living room? This is a new room right now. And in this room, I will bring people who are members already, distributors at 25%, new distributors that just joined us from 2 directions. One might be a consumer that I offered in the business and he accepted. And number 2, a business presentation that I've created, HOM, seminar, Zooms, whatever, where I'm doing business presentations to prospects. So there are two profiles sitting in this room. Some of them already know my product. Some of them already went through the product experience. Some of them might have great results. Some of them might have already some downline. Some of them have already made some money. And some of them got no clue about what my business is all about. They just joined because they saw the opportunity in a nice presentation, and they say yes. They bought the HMP or IBP, okay, and sign up. And now they ask me, okay, show me the way. What am I going to do with those? Okay, so we have now two rotating doors. One is customers going in, and one is business presentation, business opportunity door. Two different profiles are walking through the door, but behind those doors, the world is the same world. There is no different world. All I need to do is to take the guy who went through the HOM or through the business presentation door and start working with him to build his kitchen and to build his dining room. Then he will be sitting in my living room as a 25% already distributor who earns some money. That's the whole thing. So that's the whole issue here. Two different doors, one business, one activity with difference of time and activity. The one who is sitting in my living room will ask the question, what should I do now? Here is what I need. How do I do it? So now we need to advance on our trainings. And each page here, okay, is a full training, guys. We can develop it because we are now teaching the guys how to play tennis at a higher level now. Now we are playing at a little bit higher level. Now it's not only the basics techniques, but also we start teaching them a little bit how to think and where to direct the ball, where to direct their actions, where to put their attention more or less. We are teaching them the business. So now we need to work with independent members. We need to know how to work. Now we have sponsors, mainly for those who are new here. All the veterans here, they know how to do it. Okay, but if you need to learn how to be a good sponsor. What does it mean? What are your responsibilities? Each one of those is a full training, guys. The opportunity to create strong multi-level structure. You need to understand it. A person who brought a person who brought a person. A lot of work to do there in order to bring all of them to start building their house. So simple idea. Each one of us is building his own house. Learn how to manage business prospects. Not the same thing like customers. Sometimes you meet someone and you invite him to see the business. You need to learn how to invite someone to the business. It's not just, hey, do you want to earn some money? Wearing this big badge and people think you're a little bit weird. No, you need to do it professionally. It's not so complicated. It's very easy. Some sentences, some key sentences that your sponsor will teach you, okay? How to attract someone at least to listen to you for 20 minutes. And then when you talk for 20 minutes with this guy, whether it's in public or one-on-one, you need to know what to say and how to say. Here's the goal for the supervisor here. I would like you to end every day, at least in your first years in the business, when you're still a strong builder, every day, I want you to explain the business to about 3 people. Find 3 people to sit with 20 minutes and explain them the business. You can explain them the product and sell them the product, and then you explain them the business, somebody else the business. 2 different profiles, but it might be the same profile as well. Nothing is so, let's say, definite here. Why am I saying it? This is how I built my business. I put myself a goal. Remember, we didn't have internet when we started. We had phones. People were calling me on the ads from far away, and I didn't know what to do with them. My HOM was 5 minutes from my house, and there were 5 hours drive from my house. What should I do? So I tried to explain them the business on the phone. I'm not saying it was the best strategy, but let's tell you what happened. I practiced it so many times that the business presentation came from my mouth very smoothly. It's like a sportsman who needs to train in order to win the game. You must train yourself. Don't wait somebody to do the presentations for you all the time. Start doing the presentations yourself, because this activates yourself. Jump into the water. It's so important to start doing things for yourself. When you go, I don't know, to listen to a speaker, okay, you are passive. When you go out, you need to become active and be the speaker yourself. You start at the basics level, then you advance with the time. And I remember when I started to do those presentations, after a couple of years in the business, people started to tell me, I'm not going to join your business, but let me say your presentation was wonderful. Then I started to understand that I'm doing something okay. People left my presentations with no, how to say, with a positive opinion, but they thought it was not for them. So dominate the starting plan, the last point here. The starting point, how to put the distributor in action. The activation steps. Yes, the activation steps, guys, is not selling the guys 500 volume point. It might be part of the map, okay? But by ordering 500 volume point, we have done nothing yet. Now we need to go and sell those products, and through the process, all the dynamics will come out. Next rooms, they're all in red because they're more or less the same, with small difference. After we ate, after we enjoyed, now we want to relax, we go to sleep in the bedrooms. What are the bedrooms? Bedroom is the duplication area. This is the duplication zone. Support system, club, or office. And this is where senior consultants are sitting. I would like to see, I'm not saying it will happen every month. I would like to see you, I would like you to have a goal. Every month, I would like to see a new senior consultant in your group. And I want to see between 5 and another 1,000 volume point in this room. So what are we talking about now? Look at how the volume is growing. 1,000, I'm not saying it must be maximum. Let's go even to the minimum. 500 volume point from room A, 500 volume point from room B, 500 volume point from room C, then another 500 volume point from room D. We are already at 2,000 volume point on a monthly basis. Then we go to the room E, where success builders are sitting, or qualified producers. This is not so important, but I want you to have at least one person every month as a success builder. It is not on the first month, guys. It might happen after 6 months in the business. We are building a business, and building takes time and patience. But I want every month a little bit better results on building the house. So suddenly the house started to get a shape. It's not a skeleton anymore. Now it's starting to have a shape, and there is movement in every room every month. And the last room is when finally somebody is qualifying for the supervisor, completing the needed volume for whatever at 42% already. And right now the house is complete. Question, what does it take to work these D, E, F rooms? So now we are advancing to the next level of understanding and learn and working with people. Learn how to develop an independent member from distributor to supervisors. Guys, I saw many DMOs, not many, but few DMOs where this step did not exist, was not existing. Mistake, big mistake. I saw some activities of people who were very good distributors, but they've decided to take this step out of the house, out of the business. Why? They had different goals. It means that they took the marketing plan out, because the whole marketing plan is sitting here, transforming a member, a distributor, into supervisor, and then teaching him to do the same. So the house is the basis for a sustainable and successful business. We shall see it in details when talking about plan of action. So now we have a small house. If you are a part-time job or not really working hard your way, your house will be small, about 2,500 volume point a month. This is not really a house, okay? It's a small house. I will let my dog sleep in this house. But if you become a little bit more serious and more stable, your volume will grow between the 2,500 volume point and the 5,000 volume point, and the house is becoming a little bit more serious. It's not a huge house, it's a modest one, but we can start enjoy. We have where to sleep. We are making some money, we're earning a little bit more money now. And my goal is to bring any distributor, positive distributor, active distributor, to earn what I call reasonable amount of money in reasonable amount of time. If the guy is answering and he's positive, I can almost guarantee you that after 6 months in the business, he can make more than an average salary in his country. Next, when you bring your volume between 5,000 to 7,500 volume point, that's imaginary. I mean, your house, you have volume in all the rooms and the volume is growing, And guys, when I followed up on my group and my focus groups, this is what I'm controlling, the house. Show me your house. I want to see what you've done, okay, in room A, what in room B, what in room C, D, E, F. And then if something is not working adequately or I see slowdown, what do? We fix. We talk about it. What didn't work? What should we do in order for that to work? Let's go back to the points of each room and see how are you managing them. This is how you build a person. Now, if your volume is bigger, now your house is bigger, now you have a nice house. What happened to a nice house? Everybody wants to be in a nice house. Now you start serving as a good example. And this is where your leadership starts. This is where leadership starts. Leadership is not just word of mouth. It's word of action. It's word of being a good example. Then you can lead your people. Of course, in order to be a good leader, there are a lot of other characteristics that one can develop or bring into Herbalife. Fantastic, great. That the number one issue is being a good example. And if you're really becoming a big producer and your volume point is around 10,000 volume point and above, now you're building your dream house. Okay, your dream house. You're really a productive person. You're earning money on the volume, because on the volume, remember, from each room we have some kind of income. Retail profit, wholesale profit, more wholesale profit, less wholesale profit. Altogether, we want to get some kind of a monthly income. And somebody used to say, the income from my volume serves to pay my bills. Now we want to go to the highest levels of income. What is highest level? The highest level is the next level of income. We learn how to build a house. Now, if we teach other people to build their house, we start to earn royalties. Now, what happens? We don't have any issue with producing the 2,500 volume point. It's automatic. It's natural. It's in our DNA. And this is what we are going to teach our people. This is the real DNA duplication. And this is where the business will become sustainable. Sometimes it might be higher, sometimes no. But you will have people who are earning money, and when they're earning money, basically they will stick to the business and your retention will increase. Now, when you finish, your house is done. You know how to operate your house now on a monthly basis. You start teaching people. Now you build your neighborhood. Now you build your neighborhood. A neighborhood is basically your royalties. Basically your royalties. And this is what I teach people. So simple. So simple. Everything is included then. So now we go to other issues on the presentation. I'll take out the presentation. Okay, and you do it like this. Stop. We're like, so far so clear. Okay, so in the end of the day, guys, it's technique. Those are techniques. There is no business if there is no technique. Okay, it's not buy 4,000 point, and then you will know how to do. No, people are not. If I will sign someone up and I will tell him to start the business by himself, most likely he will not find his way. Most likely. Very few people, 1 out of 1,000 will find his way alone. What to do here? People will have ideas, but they will have no clue whether those ideas are the right one or the wrong one. Somebody must guide them at the beginning. Now, we are now advanced in time. I'm talking about concepts which are equal for all DMOs. Now we are in the world that there are different DMOs. When you used to do use, wear, talk, Tuesday, Thursdays, Saturday, more or less we were all doing the same thing. Today, one guy is doing Instagram, for example. One guy is doing Fit Club. The other one is doing, nutritional club. And the other one is working in an office. Let's talk about normal times when everything was open. Okay, not so likely today, but today. And we moved it into the Zoom. And some people are doing it now virtually, combined, depending on the country where you are. So those are DMOs. Even in the clubs, I remember when Mexico started, we have one type of club, another type of club, then we're club 100, then we're club 105, 113, okay, no club, okay. Aren't they doing Herbalife? When they're doing Herbalife? So what I'm talking about is the common factor between no matter what DMO you're using. That should be in all DMOs. And if it does not exist in your DMO, something is wrong in your DMO. And I saw some of those. If you cannot do this in your DMO and build people, this is our business. This is our distribution channel business, MLM, multi-level. And the multi-level is, Mark Hughes used to say, customer per customer, distributor per distributor, after distributor, and build your royalty checks. Of course, with the technology, it goes faster. It might go faster if you know what you're doing. But remember one thing. When the last person will call your Facebook or Instagram, there will be more people in the street that would like to hear about Herbalife. The organic business, guys, in my opinion, the organic business is the only one that will last forever. The only one that will last forever is the organic business. I'm here 32 years now, and we always had some inventors on the way. They all came and disappeared. Some of them stayed, but most of them suddenly disappeared. Technological business is very good, but here is what the risk about technology. Digital business might change in 24 hours. Okay, you all know the word algorithm. Many businesses disappeared in one day because the algorithms or something is changing the technology. So be careful. Yes, we can use the technology, but if you are not developing the personal relationships, not teaching your people to work on the organic side of the business, you are working at some risk, okay, of the business. My opinion, I'm not going to argue with somebody who say it's not correct. I will just tell him to show me how it worked, and I will show him the list of people who started in Herbalife with this and this and this and that, and they all disappeared. Well, I was like an ant, always one after the other, one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. But of course, it is very important not to forget, no matter what DMO we're doing, the most important thing is how many people are you able to put in the flow to the room one, to the entry door. The higher is the number of your flow, the better are your numbers on the flow. On on the entry door, better will be the results in the qualifying supervisor's door. And this is basically what we want. So no matter what is your system, business structure, okay, flow is very important. Talk to people. This is where technology can help us. Of course, I used to do flyers every night when I started the business, and I'm telling you, it was not very easy to do thousands of flyers every night in my neighborhood in Israel. Some people wanted being burned, but I had a sponsor who was a millionaire team, and he was like my light. This is what I wanted to be. I wanted to be like him, and he was telling me what he was doing. He showed me what he was doing, so I saw the example, and I did what he was doing. Okay, but today it's a lot easier. Part-time job today is a lot easier than it used to be before. In the past, we didn't have a lot of solutions for part-time job. Today, it's a lot easier. You create your small community on the phone, you start working. You start working with them. You don't even need to move from your house. So the flow is very important. However, it is very easy to bring people. Very easy to bring people. People are champs to attract people, and mainly on the social media. Okay, very easy. But once you have the people, it's getting a little bit more challenging to work with people and develop them. And this is where your, let's say, your quality kicks in. Okay. Your business supervisors will be sustainable, stable business only when it will be based on group of supervisors that is growing and group of leaders which is growing constantly, let's say, every year. You're not obliged to do jumps of 500% every year. No, but growing gradually, one after the other, one after the other. Don't try to run after the wind. When you have a good person, develop him. When you develop him, your income is guaranteed. Then you move to the other one, and then you move to the other one, and then you move to the other one, one after the other, one after the other. But if you jump too fast from one to another, forgetting somebody behind, you might lose him. So when you advance, and you have all the rights in the world to advance to the next distributor, of course, yes. Don't leave behind those who are not so, let's say, confident yet. So you have now two jobs, new ones and old ones, new ones and old ones. Next. So if you want sustainable business, basically what we're looking for are independent distributors. Independent distributors that are able to act independently without you. Takes time, but once they are there, you have what we call free income, residual income. This is basically the goal of our business as multi-level business. And it's not working all the time, by the way. Many people are not responding. There are some other difficulties on the way. I might bring up another presentation that I created during the lockdown. I called it Build Your Business on the Rock, using the famous sentence of Jim Rohn. Many people, young people, never heard Jim Rohn, but you can find the tapes, you can find the videos and listen to Jim Rohn or read his books. And it might help you to focus. Where are we going and what are we doing? So we want distributors who are able to act individually. And I used to give always this example. Imagine yourself that you are jumping from an airplane in the middle of the night and you're falling into a city where you can do Herbalife in the middle of the jungle, nice city, 100,000 people living there, and no HOMs, no seminars, no clubs, nothing, only you wearing the badge. And you can do the business because you can place orders. What would you do? That's what I'm asking my supervisors always. And I tell them, you must be able to start the business from zero, having no stories with you, no testimonials. What are you going to do? Some people would say, I will try to recruit people and to start building my group. And I say, really? You are 2 months in the business and you think you have a strong story to start to influence people here to follow you? Maybe. And other people say, I will start talking to people about my product. Like Mark Hughes said on the video. I will put people on the product. That will be easy, and I will start create some results among me. And once I will have some result, I will bring some more people to see the results, to talk about the results, explain why the results, and then I will put more people on the product, and then I'll tell them that I need help. And ask if anybody is interested in earning some money here. And I can guarantee you that after 3-4 months in this place, you will have a group going. You will have a group going if you do the right job. It's not so difficult, guys. There is a lot of details in our business, but the activity is very simple. Next. So the key here, the key in order to create a distributor who is able to act individually, and I'm not asking him to be the champ of the world. I'm asking him to be able to wake up in the morning and to know what is he going to do today. And after every day, by the way, mainly at the beginning in the first weeks, if we are not working close to each other physically, I would like to know, and there is a full lesson about how to follow on a distributor. And I can say today that my group grew a lot on the follow-up on their activity. I always ask them questions. So don't give instructions to your people. Teach them, show them what to do, which is a little bit of instructions, but immediately afterwards, start asking them questions. Ask them questions about their activity. What's new? What's new in your business? What a simple question. Every day, what was new yesterday? Or what was new today if the conversation is in the evening? What are you going to do tomorrow? Don't tell them do this and that. What are you going to do tomorrow? Why not giving instructions, orders? It doesn't help. It doesn't say anything about their being active. It's just putting in your head the idea that they might do what you're telling them to do. Ask questions. When you ask questions, they must answer. And then you know their state of mind. Then you know what to do. Who is moving in your group? Not what's new. Who is moving in your group? Oh, I have this new guy. He's moving. What was he doing in order to move? He sold 2 guaranas. The guaranas is already out of the market. You understand? Let's put things in let's say in proportions. Only by questions. I learned it on my blood, on my flesh. I stopped giving instructions. I told them what we are going to do, and then I asked questions. Why? Because questions are activating the person. They're obliging him to act. When my person, and it takes few weeks to put somebody on the rails, on the train rails, to walk the walk and talk the talk, as Mr. John Peterson used to say. Walk the walk and talk the talk of Herbalife. It takes time. Then we enter what I call daily routine. Write down this concept, you supervisor. Routine. Routine is very important in life. Routine is very important. Because routine is habits. Routine-based are your habits. So we have very few small windows when we can change people's habits. Very few. Mainly at the beginning. They're coming to Herbalife. They don't know where are they coming from. This is the moment where we can help them to create good habits of routine. What are you doing in the morning? What are you doing in the midday? What are you doing in the afternoon? What are you doing in the evening? Okay, this is routine. 5 days a week, 6 days a day, 7 days a week, routine. And the routine includes everything. It's work, and it's also might be family time, it's pleasure, sports, rest, whatever. It's part of the routine. We are not robots. But we need to be time efficient. Time efficient is very important. So now once we have established the routine, once we have established the daily routine, now we want to increase the production, okay, to improve the production. And this is what I call regularity. I want the person to be regular. I want it to be able to produce, okay, average volume every month. So it's not only the routine now, it's regularity. What is your regularity? If you have good routine, but one day you're working, one day you're not working, one day you're working, one you're not, even you're following the routine, there is no regularity there. Ask the golf players, what is routine and what is regularity? Some of you in the United States, maybe you're playing golf. Spain, where I live, many people are playing golf. And one day I took some lessons many years ago. I play a little bit. But when I took a lesson, I had a golf teacher who was fantastic, funny guy. And I learned a lot from him for our business. Because look what he told me. He told me, Michael, in golf, you have a swing. It's a movement. It's a movement. This movement is not so easy. It's not a natural movement in your body. And this movement got different stages that you need to synchronize among all this movement to create what we call the right swing. The better you synchronize the movement, further your ball will fly. Further your ball will fly. But he said you are not going to win the match by one good shot. In order to win, it's not important to have one good shot or one bad shot. What you need is a good regularity, a good average of numbers of shots. Then you will win the game. Then you will win. And that, I said, wow, it's exactly like Herbalife. Okay, I don't expect my guy to do 10,000 volume pint 1 month and then 10 months in a row 0. I would love him to see him doing 5,000 every month. Every month. This is good regularity, but not because he qualified 2.5 supervisor 1 month, he got volume, and then 6 months I don't see him. No, I would like to have a good regularity. And when you have a good regularity, okay, then we have a basis to grow because we can improve the regularity. We can change the routines also. There are two concepts working together. All golf players, they have two things. Routine, watch one time. Sometimes some of them are freaked out. They're freaky. They have such a weird routine. Why? Routine is helping them to concentrate and to focus on what they need to do and not to go out of the trial. This is what routine is doing. It's keeping you on trial, but it still doesn't mean you are good. It means this is the beginning, and then your higher regularity make you better and better. Because I said routine plus regularity give you royalty growth. R plus R equal R. You always remember the retail plus recruiting equal royalties. Okay, also good. But this is routine plus regularity. I mean, repeating volume, repeating production, because we are talking about being productive. Active supervisor, productive supervisor. This is the key for success in our business. And then we have the attitude. Very important, attitude. The name of the game is attitude. Not everything is working at all times. Sometimes we are going through great times, and sometimes we have not so great times. And sometimes we have crisis. Oh no, nobody wants the product. My distributors are not working. They're quitting, whatever. What do you do with that? This is part of our life. We need to know how to handle this situation. Yes, it's a little bit on a higher level of leadership, how to do, what to do, but that's what my sponsor told me from the beginning. My first distributor, signed from a newspaper, is Ari Baratz, today Chairman Club. Okay, he's my first distributor recruited for my first ad. Can you imagine? My first HOM with people that I did, with foreigners that I didn't know. He came and he disappeared with the IBP under his arm, and he disappeared for 3 weeks, never showed up. And my sponsor told me, "Where is this guy Ari?" I said, "I don't know." And my sponsor said, "What do you mean you don't know? You're now the new executive, you're the new president of your new organization with one person, and you don't know where is your organization? You don't know where your sales power is? Michael, call him. Call him, please." And I was frightened to death. I picked up the phone. I said, "Okay, I call him." No, it was not a mobile phone. It was a phone like this, like the old timers. He said, "So what am I going to tell him?" And he said, "Ask him. Where is he?" So I called him. "Hi, Ari, how are you? Where are you?" I said, "Oh, I am at home." "Okay, you bought the IBP, you disappeared, we had trainings, you didn't show up. Where are you?" So I said, "Michael, they're working on my kitchen at home, not the kitchen of the house. They were fixing my kitchen, new kitchen. Don't worry, I will come." I tell my brother, "You see, he's busy." And my brother said, "Okay, ask him when did they finish the kitchen." "Ari, when are they going to finish the kitchen?" You see the small questions to get more information. After a couple of days, Ben is asking me, "What about this guy, Ari?" I said, "I don't know. They're working on his kitchen. Call him." What am I going to say to him? In my brain, in my mind, I didn't think that I had the right to call him. Who am I to give him orders or instructions? That was my low profile. But I called him. And then he said, "Michael, there was so much dust and I'm allergic to dust. So I'm a little bit ill, but don't worry, I will come." And in the end of the first month, a couple of weeks later, I called him and he came. He came to a meeting we did in a home party in one of Ben's distributors. And we couldn't recognize him. He lost 10 kilos. Unbelievable. The guy was using the product. So suddenly we realized the guy was serious. We thought he was not serious. He was serious. And he told us, "Listen, guy, I was busy. Now that I started to see people are making money, I have some people who want the product. What should I do now?" I said, let's go home. We have some products at home." That was the period that the warehouse was different, strange animal. "We have some points at home." He took the volume points, so he had about, I don't remember, 10 products, at 11 o'clock at night. And at 1 o'clock, he's calling me and saying, "I need more products." Then he became supervisor only by selling the product. Today is the Chairman Club. What would have happened if I didn't follow my sponsor order to call him? Maybe I wouldn't have had him today. Maybe he was not here today. So that's how it works. Attitude. Yesterday I told the story to Alf because we talked a little bit about golf. There is a Spanish guy named John Ram. He's right. I think he's number one in the golf right now in the world ranking. If not, he's number 2, but he's number 1. Unbelievable player. Few months ago, he was playing one of the most important tournaments in the United States, and he was about to win. It was the last day of the tournament. For those who don't know, golf tournaments are lasting 4 days. On the 4th day, Sunday, midday, he is the winner of the tournament for sure. He got 4, 5, or 6 shots in advance above the follower. Number 2, he would have been this tournament. $1.5 million check is expecting him on the end of the tournament. And the hole number 12, I don't remember the exact, let's say number 12, midday. Suddenly, the inspector of the course is coming and said, "Mr. Ram, you gave positive for COVID virus. You're out of the tournament." The guy is looking at him with the crying eyes. He said, "But I feel okay." "No, those are the rules. You're out of the tournament." The guy is leaving the tournament, losing $1.5 million that he was about to win. I would say this is a crisis. I would say this is a challenge. This is difficult. 2 weeks later, after he went out of the COVID, healed himself, he won the US Open, the biggest golf tournament. 2 weeks later. This is what would I call great attitude, strong attitude. Okay, coming back and win big time. This is the right attitude. So, guys, I think we have enough material here for today. It was nice to end with this kind of story, with attitude, and just a little bit of, to conclude what I just said. We moved from the 20th century to the 21st century, and we went through a huge development in our ability to do the business. Let's use it in our favor. Technology is great if used correctly. If we ask also the company to do the right things for us, we shall use it properly. It will be great for us. We cannot ignore the technology, but we need to learn how to use it properly in order that our business will be sustainable and will continue to grow. When I started a business, I used to say to my distributor that I want them that after a few months of working hard in the streets, you will be able to work from home, like lawyers and like doctors. We are there today with the technology. It is a big advantage for us. You can work from home from the beginning, but do it right. Guys, thank you very much to invite me to this school. It was great to share with you a little bit. Small window. We have more to share with you in the future. I can guarantee you a lot of good stuff. Okay, but on the Zooms, when you get to 90 minutes, okay, that's enough. Okay, for one session, and next time we talk about other things. So thank you very much. See you in the next time.
Wow. Thank you, Michael. I don't know about you guys and girls, wherever you are in the world, but this was not a supervisor workshop. This was a master class. Let's give it up for Michael, guys. Stand up, everybody. Get excited. Clap your hands. Make some noise. Let him know that you appreciate everything that was shared with you, because the results speak for themselves, guys. What Michael is talking about here is what we learned when we started a business. This is how this company was built. Okay? How would you like to have lots of supervisors, lots of your distributors qualified to supervisor this month? How would you like that? And how would you like those distributors to learn the basic concepts, the fundamentals, the things we just heard about that will never change? And that's what will give you the freedom. If you apply them, you'll build a sustainable business. Who wants to have a sustainable business? Of course you do. This is what we got to do. We are on a mission right now. I believe we are on the 4th phase of our business and our industry. You know what that means? Very simple. Back to basics. Back to basics. We've allowed ourselves to get highly distracted by all kinds of things, and now we come full circle. We realize it is time to go back to basics. Okay? Now, as I mentioned in the beginning today, during this year, 2021, it's been a very challenging year for many reasons. But we made a decision, a few of us, and we decided that we're going to make it happen. It was time to bring back these concepts. And we started, as I mentioned, in July. This one is our 6th supervisor workshop globally. And with this call, by the way, this session, this masterclass, will be available for the next 72 hours. We'll let you know exactly when you can access the link, so that anybody who is a supervisor, and this is leadership talk here. We're all supervisors. This is only for supervisors. This is not to put it out there. This is make sure you allow your supervisors to access this for the next 72 hours. You'll get the information when it's available, and it will make a huge difference. And I encourage you to go through it again, because like Michael said, sometimes we take stuff, we don't quite get it, and then when we go back and revise it, then we say, oh my God, I got it now. So, if you liked this school, if you like what we've started, let me tell you something. We have big plans for 2022. We're going to continue doing the supervisor schools every month. It's usually at the beginning of the month. But we have a lot of ideas, okay? This takes work, takes commitment, and we are very, very fortunate that we have an unbelievable team of individuals who do everything that's necessary to make this happen. We have a vice president of technology from Italy, Kevin Robello. We have a chief technology officer, Christian Schaffer from Austria. We have our stylish queen, Elizabeth Augusta in Monaco, and our chief executive public relations, Angela Jackson in the UK. So we need to thank them for putting all this together, making it happen, and we really appreciate it. But as I said, next year, if you like, who liked these schools that we've started in July? Who's had benefit from these schools? Who's got value from these schools? Who knows people that would love to have access to this information? Well, let me tell you, 2022, we are going to continue with the supervisor workshops in English, and we have a whole list of unbelievable speakers, and that's the beauty of Herbalife, different stories, different personalities, but we all share the same concepts and the same fundamentals, and that's what makes our business so solid. So next year, we're going to introduce Spanish-speaking supervisor workshops, guys. The Spanish community is huge. We need to get to the Spanish-speaking community fast. We are also thinking about doing higher level trainings, leadership type trainings. Okay? So stay connected and make sure that this month, let me say it this way. This is how Mark Hughes used to say it, and I know because I used to translate him for 10 years. And he would say, if there was ever a time to qualify new supervisors, to help everybody to get to supervisor, is this month. You know why? Do you want to know who's going to be our next host and speaker for our next supervisor school to kick off 2021, set the goals for the year, and really make 2022 our best year? Do you want to know? Well, before I tell you about these two individuals, I will tell you that our host next year, it's our beloved Angela Jackson, and she's going to be hosting the school. She's also a Hall of Famer and Chief Executive President's Team 15K, but she's going to be hosting the school, and we're going to have a very special speaker. How would you like to be able to hear how this company actually got started from somebody that was right there with Mark Hughes when this company got started? This guy saw Mark Hughes starting his own company from the trunk of his car. He became the very first employee in the company. This guy saw Mark Hughes through the hard times when nobody believed in him. If there's anybody who knows and understands what attitude is this gentleman. He will talk about the ups and the downs. He will share the philosophy and the principles of Mark Hughes, how he applied them, what are the things that he did And you might think, well, that's all happening, that happened 40 years ago. Let me tell you something. It's very, very relevant to what's going on in the world today. Because when Mark Hughes started Herbalife in 1980, the world was in a mess. But let's face it, the world today is in a mess. And people are looking for hope, are looking for direction, and are looking for leadership. And the next school is going to be the best school we've ever had. You know why? Because you are going to be there with all of your supervisors. And we're going to make an impact in the world that people are going to talk about it for years to come. Just like they talk about Mark Hughes for the last 40 years. We've got to keep this dream alive, and we've got to let people know about the Herbalife dream, because this is the greatest opportunity in the world for the average person. So collectively, we're going to make it happen. And now let me tell you, this gentleman, he became a distributor. He first was an employee, then he became a distributor. And he took on the responsibility to spread the message, and he became a president's team. He is an international executive president's team, 20K, from Los Angeles, California. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Paco Perez, also Hall of Fame inductee. So guys, make sure you write down this date, because you don't want to miss this date with Angela Jackson. She will have lots of information to share, and she'll be introducing Paco, and Paco will deliver the most unbelievable school that will be full of emotion, full of inspiration and information for a great 2022. So now, remember, we're going to have the recording. I want to thank everybody for being here, because without all of you, there would be no sense having these supervisor schools. So I would like now for you, before we say goodbye, our technicians are going to open the lines. They're going to unmute everybody, and I want you to share your greetings. I wish you the very best, very happy holidays, all the very, very best for 2022. I can't wait. Let's make it happen, guys. Have a very, very happy holidays, fantastic new year. And from Lugano, bye for now. And once again, thank you, Michael Cole, for a masterclass. Unbelievable. Bye, guys, everybody. Say bye-bye. Happy holidays.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Bye. Happy holidays.
Masterclass.
Charity.
Hi, Charity. Bye. Happy New Year's, everybody.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye.